Thanks for joining us here today. I wanted to, and I've been talking to Miguel about it for a while, is start doing some kind of daily vlogging. And one of the ideas that was floating around in my head just this last week was branding. Now, branding means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I've been listening to a lot of Gary Vee. I've been seeing a lot of these YouTubers pop up out of nowhere and then create this brand literally overnight to where, people are buying their products, people are buying their services, people are completely engaged with.
I haven't seen you yet.
Good to see you. How are you?
Good. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great. Talking about branding, so.
Oh, okay. I'll get with I have Miguel help me calls later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that this morning too.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, see ya.
You need anything?
I'm good, I'm all set, thank you, Monica. All right. Starting over one more time. No, that was Monica, she's great. And there'll be a way to make this, cut it, trim it, or whatever the case may be. But so yeah, branding. What does it mean to most people, and why is it important? It's pretty simple. A brand represents trust. A brand represents certainty. I'd say probably for 70, maybe even 75 to 80% of most people out there, certainty is one of their most highest required needs, to where people want to be certain. I mean, you want to wake up and know that the sun is going to rise, and that the sky is not going to fall. I mean, you want to be certain that your job is going to be there. You want to be certain that, you're going to be out there and be able to drive to work. Your car is going to turn on. You know what I mean? Basic things, you just want to be certain in life. And so branding gives people certainty. It's, you're certain in things. You know that, okay, I like to buy Banana Republic shirts. Why? Well, because I like the way they feel. It's a higher quality product. It's not ridiculously expensive. I'm certain in the price. The price is good. I can go and pick up a nice polo shirt like this for $20 to $30, and it's a good, high quality, feel good product. And I'm confident in the company that is Banana Republic. They've been around for a long time. They're not going to go out of business as far as I know anytime soon. They have a great product, and I'm certain in the service when I go in there. There's good people working there. They're very helpful but not overly pushy. They have a good selection of different types of shirts and pants and things like that. And so I buy that brand because I'm certain in that brand, and the reason I don't go and just buy a brand that I don't know anything about is because I'm not very certain in those brands. And it goes the same way for a lot of different things. I mean, when you go shopping, what's a big brand that has really taken over in the grocery and food and beverage industry? Organic, right? What does that mean? Well, that means it wasn't grown with pesticides. That means there's no artificial flavoring, you know what I mean? So now there's this brand that's taking over in the food and beverage industry, which is organic products, And make no mistake about it, organic is a brand. You think, oh, well, it's just a different way it's just a different type. No, it's a brand. People look for that little organic 3-leaf thing on there, and they buy with certainty, knowing that, this product was put together, processed, or grown in a better way. And so branding controls a lot. And I almost felt like too, there's a lot of people out there talking right now making you think that branding is under attack. Like, branding is not going to be important in 10, 20 years. Well, and I get it. There's valid arguments to this way of thinking, and part of it is because you do have the internet now, and you do have all this information now, and you do have this crazy social media culture that's going on now, to where all of a sudden you had these giant brands that kind of control the market, and now these new people, these up and comers, can get millions of followers, millions of subscribers, become viral, so to speak, and all of a sudden they're competing with major brands. And I get that, and I love that. I mean, I think that's great. I mean, for me personally, I think it's the American dream. I mean, that's the way we're supposed to be. There's supposed to be competition, you know what I mean? And if those people or these independent folks are coming up and all of a sudden, overnight becoming a powerful brand and competing with some of these other brands, then there's something to be said about that. And the brands, the good companies, the good brands that have been in business for a while, they will stay in business if they find a way to do the same thing that these YouTubers and these upstart companies are doing, which is give people the information they want, give people the certainty that they want, and stay relevant. I was walking through the mall the other day and I was listening to some Gary Vee videos or podcasts rather, and I started thinking, and I was looking around, and he was talking about how brands are becoming obsolete. And I was looking at, I was passing Dillard's and Nordstrom and Macy's and Starbucks and all these popular brands. And I'd have to say, on this particular time, this particular occasion, I disagreed with one of the people that I have a ton of respect for, because I don't think that brands are going away anytime soon. I personally use brands every day. I mean, I decided to invest in the biggest and best brand in real estate, which is RE/MAX. RE/MAX has been around for 45 years. They've had some of the best agents, sold the most houses. They've done commercials. They've done billboards. They've created products and services and systems that are better than everybody else's. I have a lot of certainty in this brand. And my clients and the people I work with and my agents have a lot of certainty in this brand. Now, what comes with that certainty isn't just a blank check and I'm going to follow you blindly for the rest of my life. No, that's not what it means. You still have to stay relevant. And if RE/MAX for some reason becomes obsolete and says, you know what, I don't care about the consumer anymore, we're the best at everything we do, and we're just going to sit back on our laurels and not innovate, not change, not get better, not improve, then I'll leave RE/MAX. I mean, that's just the same thing with any other brand. If Banana Republic all of a sudden starts putting out a crappier product and stops training their people correctly, so every time I go in there, people are rude and not helpful, and guess what? They're gonna lose my business. You know what I mean? It's pretty simple. Just because it's a brand doesn't mean that you just write them a blank check and blindly follow them. However, I do have a lot more trust and certainty in a brand, and I think branding is very important. And it is now I think more important than ever for good brands to remain in business, to take action and find ways to reach the consumer differently. In other words, commercials on TV, billboards, banner ads, I mean, those things just don't work anymore. You got to dig deeper with social media. You got to create content that's going to make people have an emotional connection to you. You got to put good stuff out there, and you got to reach the masses on the method that they want you to reach them at. They're just not watching TV commercials anymore. I mean, ever since TiVo came out, and who the hell watches commercials anymore? I mean, the only time that you're almost forced to watch a commercial was during a sports event. And what do you do when the commercial comes on? You flip out your phone and you start looking through your phone, and you don't even watch the commercial then either. So commercials, in my opinion, are some of the lowest bang for your buck. Banner ads, I don't, maybe one person out of 10 million actually clicks on a banner ad or looks at a banner ad. Billboards even, I'm sorry to say, if you're driving a car, if you're a passenger in a car, you're definitely not looking at a billboard. Let's just look around. When you go out there and you drive around, when you go down the street, what are people doing? They're looking at their phone if they're a passenger. You know what I mean? If they're a passenger, they're definitely not looking at a billboard. Now, if they're the driver, they should be watching the road. But let's be honest, look around. half these drivers are looking at their phone and barely freaking driving. You know what I mean? And definitely when they're stopped, they're on their phone. They're not looking at the billboards, you know? So these traditional forms of marketing are going away. So the brands, the powerful brands that have had the luxury and benefit of kind of cornering the market are going to have to get smarter. They're going to have to change. They're going to have to innovate. Same thing goes for Remax. I don't follow Remax blindly. They're going to need to get better. They're going to need to change. They're going to need to innovate. And I'm a part of that change. I'm a part of that innovation. And, you know, I'm going to stick with the brands that I trust. But, however, I'm going to keep an open eye to, you know, these independents, these upstart companies, because, you know, they're reaching the masses on a deeper level, on a more emotional level, on a more relational level. And, you know, doing marketing and doing business the old-fashioned way is just becoming transactional, and it may capture a few people, but, you know, there's something to be said about it. There's a reason why some of these big companies are going out of business. There's a reason why some of these big brands are in deep trouble right now. And I'll tell you why. They're spending billions, millions of dollars on freaking marketing and advertising. That's not working. People don't want to buy their products. People don't want to purchase their services because, you know, they're not reaching them the way they want to be reached. They want to be reached through social media, through engaging content, through video, image, and text content that makes them emotionally connected to that product or service. Not a fucking billboard. Am I right? Not a freaking commercial, you know, that plays, you know, when they don't even watch commercials in the first place. You know what I mean? What do you think, Miguel? Am I wrong here?
Nope, you're not.
Well, okay, let's take Miguel, for example. What brand of shirt is that?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest.
Seriously? You don't know what brand that is?
No, I just buy random.
Like, where did you go to? Okay,
TJ
where did you go to
Maxx,
buy?
TJ Maxx?
TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
So you do most of your shopping at TJ Maxx. Okay, so TJ Maxx is a brand, right? What kind of watch is that you got on?
Movement.
Movement, who's that?
It's a new company actually. It's a fitness company as well.
What kind of jeans you got on there?
Levi's.
Levi's, okay. So what
Levi's
kind of
is
shoes
bad.
you're wearing there?
The penguin logo one. It's like the little penguin.
Little penguin, Kenneth
Yeah.
Cole?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Kenneth Cole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what kind of gel do you have in your hair?
I forgot the name of it as well. Johnny B.
Johnny V? Who the hell's that?
Johnny B.
Who's Johnny V?
I don't know. It's like a brand, like a my
Upstart.
type of style.
Okay. Where'd you go get your haircut last?
I actually got it at J. Grooms in Bernie.
J. Grooms.
J. Grooms in Bernie is actually a new company.
And
in
why'd
Bernie.
you go to J. Grooms and Bernie?
Because they're amazing. The service is amazing.
But how did you find out the service was amazing?
Friends. Friends that own the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I asked Miguel here is because he's a millennial, all right? He's 24 years old, and almost half the things. So he's wearing a watch from an independent upstart company that, you know, really it's not a Rolex, it's not a Fossil, it's not a Swiss watch. It's a company that nobody's ever heard of that has made an impact. Why'd you buy that watch, Miguel?
Because they start making $100 watches, and they look really nice, and a lot of YouTubers like buy them, so I started buying them as well, and I love it. You know, it's real. I mean, it's good product, good quality.
There you have it. And I think generations do play into it a little bit. Like, I think the younger, under 30 crowd, is a little bit more susceptible to not just blindly following the brands, because they're a little bit more connected to some of these other companies that start out of nowhere, because they're more connected online. They're more connected to their phone, to Snapchat, Instagram, internet, period. And so those of us that are over our 30s are a little bit more trustful of brands. We draw a little bit more certainty, because that's what we've dealt with over the past 30, 40 years. But, even Miguel, in his, mid-20s, early 20s, is still branded pretty well. He shops at TJ Maxx, he's wearing Levi's, and, he's, for the most part, still benefiting from some of the larger brands. So, You know, I personally believe in branding, and I'll add to that, you're only a good brand if you stay relevant. And right now, some of the biggest brands out there are not staying relevant. And my advice to, all the brands out there is find ways to connect. Read that book, Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. Man, that's a wealth of knowledge right there for brands to stay relevant. As a matter of fact, that's one thing we're doing right now with this video is we're trying to stay relevant. We're trying to give you something that of value, give you something that you'll be able to use at some point. So that's pretty much all I have on branding. It's been on my mind. I've been wanting to talk about it. Miguel, do you have anything you'd like to add on branding?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Did we do a good job?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We always do here.
Okay. All right. Do you think we made a convincing argument?
Yes, sir. We did.
Okay. All right.